What's that video game? It's Pokémon, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl. Today we look at a game series I abandoned many years ago, Pokémon. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl comes as, you guessed it, a remake of Diamond and Pearl, developed alongside of the new coming Arceus game to be released early next year. Oddly enough, this is the first game, as far as I know, that was made by someone else who's not Game Freak. This time, a different studio by the name of Ilka? ILCA? I don't know whether it's like one you say or not. Interestingly enough, I killed dozens of batteries, AA batteries specifically, on my Game Boy Color playing every Game Boy game up until Crystal. But I never played any of the DS or Game Boy Advance games, so this one's 100% new to me. Starting off with the visuals, the game looks pretty good at first glance. Quality animations, textures, lighting, and Pokemon models. Upon further inspections, a lot of the backgrounds are reused. They're not even animated, even a little bit in the case of like grass or trees with the wind. And rain makes the game look not as good. It makes it look blurry, for a lack of better words. Overall though, lighting is handled extremely well. Eterna Forest is a great example of this. Nothing really looks bad overall or out of place, but they charged $60 for this game when the previous remasters before the Switch were $40. So, with that extra $20, we have a bit of a reason to point things out more thoroughly. You charge AAA price, you expect AAA game. The sound in these two games is, however, a completely different story. Sound effects and ambient sounds are superb, some of the best in the series. Pokemon, however, use their growls instead of saying their name, but this was how it was on the DS and it's a remake, so whatever, it gets a pass. Music is probably one of the most 50-50s with the fan base ever. My opinion, it's one of the strongest selling points in the game. All the original melodies were remade, and it seems like this is what the original versions had in mind. But the DS was really limited in technology because there's no CD quality music on it. I've seen a lot of people commenting on, for example, the Cyrus theme. I think it's great. I love bass guitar, and I love the way it sounds. But a lot of people think that the Ultra Sun and Moon version sounds better. I gotta agree, but that doesn't make the bass guitar one sound any less amazing. Now, gameplay in these games is just like the original Diamond and Pearl games. They didn't really change much here. It's got the older style of gameplay with the more Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance game style. Exploring a huge world in a relatively linear fashion, just like the previous titles before, battling other trainers, and battling and capturing wild Pokemon. They added this, underground in Diamond and Pearl, and it returns as the Grand Underground, being an underground area with alcoves and areas to explore, capture wild Pokemon in. Between these are little corridors that you can actually mine the walls out and search for gems, fossils, all sorts of weird things. Once you're past the tunnels, you explore these alcoves and underground areas. These will contain a lot of different Pokemon that you actually will not see in the overworld. You can capture them too. Interestingly enough, this list of Pokemon that show up in the Grand Underground goes up by a lot once you complete the game. This is kind of annoying, seeing as the list to choose from before is a third what it is after the end game. I'm not sure why they did this. Why was more options bad? One thing they changed gameplay-wise was they added experience shared for the entire party. This, just like the music, seems pretty 50-50 in the community. Some people love it, some people hate it. On one hand, it allows you to level your secondary Pokemon, making your team pretty uniform in levels, but this makes the gym leaders a little easy. On the other hand, it allows for bad Pokemon to be leveled up until they're good, like Magikarp for a great example. Personally, I love this change. I think they all should be this way. I love this change because since I was like many people in the original games, had one good Pokemon in their lineup and everything else was a level 20 while your primary was at 80. The world skills have changed a little bit too. Previously in Pokemon games, if you wanted to use things like Surf or Fly, you had to have that Pokemon, or one that had that skill, in your party and they had to have that skill. Not anymore. Basically, there's like a random like Bidoof or Bibarel that's going to help you do this at just whenever you want it. It doesn't really make sense continuity-wise, but man, it's a welcome balance change. You don't have to waste an entire slot on one of your Pokemon with Surf, which is not very good, or Fly. It also means that if you don't like flying Pokemon like I don't, you don't have to have one. Because before, if you didn't have this in your party, you lost the functionality altogether. You can't go without any of these. You have to have them. They did, however, not change everything. Spiritomb is still extremely time-consuming to catch. Feebas is the same way. These Pokemon are difficult to catch purely just to waste the player's time doing pretty much nothing. They should have changed this. This is stupid. However, I'd imagine the Pokemon crowd would be super angry if these changes were made. I mean, people are still mad about the XP sharing, and it's arguably one of the best changes to the game. But, you know, hashtag no changes. Oh, and whoever decided to hotkey Pokeballs deserves a raise. You don't have to pause the game anymore and go all the way into your stupid inventory list and scroll through and choose the one you want to use. It's like you press with the one button and it goes. It's how it probably always should have been. One major problem with this game, or Nintendo in general, is multiplayer support. This game is no different from overall. It's so janky. Why can't you make a group with somebody you know? You have to, like, know them physically in real life, meet with them, and go in a local lobby. Why would you need to do this? Why would you want to set up a clan if you could just physically meet them in real life? That's defeating the purpose of online. Why would you need to set this up for this entire system just to play group together easily when you could just meet them? Why do I have to share details of the person to make a group anyways? Isn't that what the point of the friends list is? Why is getting into a lobby and battling other trainers sometimes extremely jank? It takes like several minutes and it's like, oh, would you like to save? Would you like to save? Would you like to save? Just let me in the stupid lobby. All this is made worse by how you have to trade for some of the evolutions of Pokemon, just like the originals. Why can't I just do, like, I don't know, cash on delivery mail through the trade system that doesn't exist but should be there, or something similar to how, like, Animal Crossing did it, where you could just mail each other or something, or, like, I don't know, send a request, or do something. This system is not good. Battling random people is basically almost impossible. Like, there's no matchmaking at all. The actual method people use, as far as I can tell, is to join random lobbies and just do the little like emote thing that says, I want to battle people, and hope somebody battles you. There's no matchmaking, no like ELO or ranking or anything. The developer said the reason why this was lacking in this game was because this game was more meant to be the casual Pokemon game, with Sword and Shield being the competitive one. However, doing nothing at all isn't a great answer either. It's pretty dumb. You can't even send messages to each other to add friends or something like that if you came across somebody in a lobby that you liked battling. Nintendo, it's 2021. Well, not much longer. You really should have this figured out by now. Your multiplayer support is worse than the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Like, come on, man. This, however, isn't really entirely a fault of the game. This is Nintendo Switch's problem. Nintendo is years behind everybody else when it comes to multiplayer. You still, to this day, can't send a message to your friends on the Switch. They expect you to use a phone app for that. Remarkable. These guys are delusional. Some of my longest outstanding friends I met on the internet. I think a lot of people who watch YouTube also share this. That can't happen on the Switch, because you can't message each other. You can only message friends. So how would you message somebody who's not your friend to add them as a friend? They really don't know what they're doing. Like, why is the Switch not always connected? Like, yeah, okay, the always online DRM argument is a good one. Like, obviously nobody likes that. But at the same time, if I have an internet connection and you're connected to it, why wouldn't you use it? Why wouldn't you sign in to Nintendo Switch Online? Oh, but it does. It just doesn't do anything. It's absolutely terrible. Moving on. For reference, like I said before, I never played any of these original DS games. I stopped after the Game Boy Color with Pokémon. However, from what I can tell, these games are pretty good to their source material. It seems like they were pretty close to the vision that they were going for on the original DS releases, but the DS really limited them with the hardware. They definitely could have fleshed some things out, added more content. They apparently, as far as I can tell, I mean, again, I didn't play it, but I was reading this, they didn't really include a bunch of the content from the expansion of Platinum. They just didn't. I'm not sure why they wouldn't. I mean, I guess that's kind of like how it's always been. They've never added the expansion stuff, but I mean, you're charging another $20, Nintendo. Come on. Pokémon is notorious for being a casual experience overall, with a sharp difficulty spike at the end of the game with the Champion and the Elite Four. This game's no different. All the gym leaders they're well written and react to you beating them, but like, they weren't hard. They were total pushovers. I remember losing to Brock over and over again in Pokemon Yellow just to beat him, just grinding for days. Maybe I was just a dumb kid and I was just bad at the game, but that's not the case here. I lost to a single gym one time, and that's because I was extremely unprepared for it. Now, the Elite Four, these guys live up to their name in typical Pokemon fashion. They have teams that actually make a lot of sense. They have a really competitive selection of Pokemon, good items, and just they all synergize pretty well with each other. They cover each other's weaknesses. Even after all this, I was not prepared for the absolute unit that is Cynthia. This girl just does not mind destroying you. I expected the Elite Four to difficulty spike by a lot. It was a little bit more than I expected. And I expected the Champion to be harder than the Elite Four. I didn't expect the difficulty spike to continue going way higher than expected. My first try on the Elite Four was a failure because, again, I was extremely unprepared. I got to the second guy and I only had really 3 Pokemon, and Earthquake's really good. The Elite Four, like I said, has a bit of a more unexpected, but expected, difficulty spike. But it's interesting to see in a Pokemon game, you getting beat by an NPC. It's so unexpected. In the end, when I did win, I had 1 Pokemon left, and I scraped by at half health. What's interesting about Cynthia is only the real, hardcore people will know what I mean by this. There's EV, I'm not really sure what it means. It's some sort of training you do with your Pokemon by killing the same one over and over again. And IV. IV you can train in the after, but it's individual value, I believe is what it means. Essentially, her stats are perfect. All of her Pokemon, it's like somebody spent 20 hours grinding. She has perfect items, she has perfect EV, she has perfect IV, she has an amazing, thoroughly well picked out team, and they're all pretty high level too for a trainer in the game. It's like you're playing against a person who's pretty good. It's surprising. And she uses 2 max heals. All the gyms have a little puzzle to them, and it's funny enough, on the ice gym, you're supposed to do this thing where you slide down hills and break boulders to clear a walkway, but yeah, the developers forgot you could just walk at a diagonal, so you could just glitch through the wall and skip the whole puzzle. Now, this game is without a doubt a Pokemon game, though. You get this little smartwatch thing, I think it's called a Poketch? I'm not sure how to pronounce the word. Whatever. Anyways, random people in town give you new applications for this, so it's super easy to miss them from time to time. Yeah, it's definitely Pokemon, alright? Now, the real question overall is this game not only worth replaying if you played the originals, but also the $20 extra Nintendo's charging over older remakes? When I say older remakes, I'm referring to Game Boy Advance games here. They were $40. I was genuinely surprised by the higher price tag. I expected it to be $40. I never played Diamond and Pearl, so this was essentially a new old Pokemon game to me, and if you're like me in this regard, it's well worth the price tag. I love the game. If you played Diamond or Pearl on the DS, this may hold a lot less value to you, seeing as the game is almost an exact remake with a little to no content added. They didn't even add the Platinum content, at least for now. Maybe it'll be DLC or something. Hopefully it's free. It won't be. However, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is a great remake. There's a lot of careful attention to detail. I find it 100% worth buying because of this. The soundtrack and the new old style of Pokemon is the perfect blend for me overall. As always, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you like the video, or a comment below if you have something to say about the game and the review. Maybe a suggestion as what to the review next.